So that leg is pushing away from there, a little bit away from there. This right leg's pushing away from there and a little bit away from there. Now, that sounds simple. It's not that simple, actually. It doesn't even sound simple.
Winner of the gold medal and the champion golfer of the year is Padraig Harrington.
Okay, welcome back to Paddy's Golf Tips. We're going to talk about the hottest topic in golf at the moment, ground force reactions. This is a difficult topic. It really is complicated and it's kind of high end. For you beginners, regular golfers out there who aren't going to think too much about it, very simple to get your feet to work right. Just hit balls in a row, 10 balls, 4 or 5 balls, whatever you want. Just line them up in a row and go down the line. Just simply, there's no way and you can hit fades and draws like I did there. I'm just manipulating the club. You should always be manipulating the club. Okay, you should always make that active. But that's ground force reactions for you beginners, amateurs. Get that movement. You can see I'm stepping, the timing of it. It will become natural, right? Just get better at it, okay? It might look awkward to start off. Just get better. For the more elite player, it is very complicated subject, this. So we want to press in the ground pretty early. So it starts in your backswing, believe it or not. You press in. Okay, there's long drive guys that will press to get going. We're not worried about that. We're talking real playing. But about this stage, you start pressing in your right foot to get to your left foot. Then you're into your left side and well into your downswing. Now you're pushing up, okay? So that leg is pushing away from there, a little bit away from there. This right leg's pushing away from there and a little bit away from there. Now, that sounds simple. Well, it's not that simple, actually. It doesn't even sound simple. It's actually quite complicated. A lot of people do it naturally. So, how do we get this? Okay. Well, one good way of doing it, and I would recommend this, especially if you practice indoors, it's not as easy outdoors, practice in your bare feet. It's hard for your feet not to work properly when you're actually in your bare feet. I'm going to stay in my sock. Now, what's interesting, I can do this and I make a much better swing in my bare feet. I can't do it on the golf course. I do need the stability of my shoe. I'm faster. I've got Victory insoles in here that, to give, which is actually interesting. So the Victory insoles are a firmer base. So would you believe it? If you play off soft turf, you'll hit the ball shorter than off firm turf. If you could play in your bare feet, you have more ground force reactions off your feet on hard surface. But clearly we don't have the traction. So that's why I have the Victory insoles to give me the pressure in my shoe, but I still need the support of the shoe. There's no way, I just couldn't go out there. I could play some shots, but I couldn't be at full pace without the actual support. I'd slip too much. But it's a great way to practice in your bare feet. So let me show you what I'm on about here. So in your bare feet, you're just not going to rock. You're going to much more likely to grip in the backswing, to get a nice position. You want to push into that ball of that left foot. So ideally, I'm going to say it, okay? I am actually going to say this, okay? I could be thrown out of the game of golf for saying this. Believe it or not, you should not turn your hips in the downswing. I said it. Now, how controversial? You should not turn your hips in the downswing. I mean, you shouldn't spin your hips in the downswing. Okay, if I was teaching a 13-year-old, I'd tell him fire those hips as hard as he can, because eventually he'll fire those hips. The club will be way behind him. He'll hit these droopy hooks, but he's going to get stronger by practicing every day. And then eventually he's going to be, these are going so fast, eventually he's going to have to keep up or else he's going to be a good player and the matchup would be great for him. But that matchup ain't going to happen for an older player or a player who's only playing once a week, okay? Do not spin your hips or your torso. Worst thing you can do. So what does the ground force do? The ground force pushes your hip out of the way, okay? But believe it or not, both hips don't, I can't say both hips don't work. Both sides of your pelvis don't work the same. Okay, I'm sure they do, but they don't feel the same. So what's happening in the ground, okay? So bare feet's going to show this easier. I'm back into my right side About this point here, I start pushing. So I'm only halfway into my backswing. I start pushing into my left ball and my left foot. Okay, if you look there, it would be off the ground. Ball and my left foot. It is essential for amateurs to lift their left heel. You know, for elite players, they can get away with this, but you know, if you're a weekend warrior, you want to lift that left heel high. You want to plant down, pressure on the ball and the toe of your left foot, okay, to push. And from there, naturally, you're going to accelerate up, and of course, you're going to have to keep your arms down. That's the key. There's no point in accelerating up and bringing your arms with you. They have to come down, and at impact, they are pulled back up, but they're certainly not staying up in the downswing. So we want that push back. How do we get it? Well, a couple of things we don't get, right? So getting this leg and straightening the knee, that is not the move. Getting this leg and rotating separately, there's nothing in that. A lot of very flexible people can do that. There's nothing in that move. This rotation is nothing. It's not gripping onto anything. Straightening the leg, or one we often see, is ripping the leg. That's not the move either. Pulling your leg back like that is not the move. So what is the move? Couple of ways of getting this. For me, if you want squat, so you want that sort of big squat down, all you have to do, don't think of squatting because you won't have the time to do that. You know, you can practice it, get a feel for it in the gym, but in general, think of jumping. So if I turn around, if I hit a normal shot here, not going to think too much about this. Okay, if you get to watch my head height here, if I jump backwards, so I'm thinking with this foot, trying to jump it back this way. Watch how much my head drops in the downswing. Watch how much I squat. So so the more I try and jump back, the more I'm going to drop down. Again, that's coming from the big toe and the ball of my foot. I don't want that early in the downswing. I don't want this straightening up. So that's pretty much, you know, if you want to practice that and exaggerate, you certainly wouldn't want to be doing that in a wedge. You know, you don't need huge squat and a drive, but on a driver, you certainly would be practicing that motion. If you have a comment or suggestion about future videos, please put it in the comments below. If you enjoyed or found these videos helpful, please like or subscribe down below to encourage me to do more.